Hi everybody, students of third year. This is a new lesson in linguistics. This chapter or unit is related to the sound patterns of language. You remember what we have discussed in the previous chapter, which is related to phonetics, the production and the sound system, the sounds and the different sounds and the production of sounds, all what we have discussed on the human's organs of speech, and all these things are what included in phonetics. Today, this part, the sound patterns of language, you see the word pattern. Sound patterns means the structure of more than one sound or the combination of more than sound which is related to the previous sound and the common sound. This is what we call phonology. This chapter is related to what? To phonology. You know that physically different individuals, mean different human beings, have different vocal tracts in terms of size and shape. You see? So everybody has a vocal tract, and you remember the place of the vocal tract and what does this vocal tract includes. It includes the two vocal cords. You see, the size and shape of that vocal tract is different from person to person, and this causes that the different persons or different people pronounce sounds differently. Do you, for example, now do you pronounce the sound in the same way that your friend pronounces the sound? No, it is not the same. Some of you have what a harsh uttering for the sound, and the other what, for example, smooth or soft uttering for the sound, and so on and so forth. Each individual. So will, for example, you take the word me. You see, you take, for example, the word me. Okay, in a physically identical manner, everybody will pronounce, or each individual will not pronounce the word me in a physically identical manner on every occasion. Means that you will not pronounce this word in the same way. You see? Good. Now we come to phonology. Phonology as a definition is the description of the systems and patterns of sounds, of speech sounds in a language. You see? So there is what? Pattern and what? System and pattern of what? Of speech sounds in a language. Which language? Not only English language, but every language. You have, for example, Arabic language, Italic language, and so many different languages. You see? The science which interests in the study of the system, you see, not individual sounds, but the system of sounds and the pattern of sounds, is what? Phonology. So phonology is the description of the systems and patterns of speech sounds in a language. It is concerned with the ways in which speech sounds form systems and patterns in a human language. The same, but in other words, this is the same like what we have said in these lines. You see? Good. Phonology permits a speaker what? To produce sounds that form meaningful utterances. Okay? When you combine, for example, this sound plus this sound, what do? You combined, okay? You combined two sounds together. According to what? Throughout phonology, you were able to produce these different to produce different words and different sounds, or combine different sounds together. And also throughout phonology you may distinguish the different accents. Okay, throughout phonology you may distinguish the different accents. For example, this accent, for example, now in Arabic language you may differentiate between the Egyptian accent and the Iraqi accent. You see, what is the science which enable you to distinguish between these accents? It is phonology. To make up also the one of the functions of phonology, it helps you to make new words, or to form plurals and past tenses. You remember that plurals and past tenses are not only related to syntax, are not only related to grammar. Okay, of course, when you make a word present, or when you make a word past, this word will be pronounced in a different way. You see, this word will be pronounced in a different way. So this is the definition of phonology, and these are what cases which in which phonology is used, or what phonology helps to. Okay, now phonemes. Every word has different sounds or symbols or sounds. For example, the word help, the word nice. Okay, every one of these words has different symbols. Look at this. This is a symbol, and this symbol is can be described as as a phoneme, and this is also a symbol. This is also symbol. You see, this is a symbol, and this is a symbol, and this is a symbol. These symbols, when you put them between two slants, these are two slants, then this symbol is is a phoneme. Good. What is a phoneme? A phoneme is a sound when you use it in a word. For example, the word new. Okay, when you use it in a word, and this sound cannot be replaced by other one and to show the same meaning, cannot be replaced by other one to show the same meaning, then this is this is a phoneme. So a phoneme is a sound which has which has an identity. Okay, or it has let us say a feature or different features. You see, specific features. Okay, there are some specific features for for the sound. When you differentiate between this sound and other sounds, for example, you say the sound ne is different from the sound me. For example, when I say new, can I use, for example, me instead of ne to say mu to show the same meaning? No, you cannot. Then ne and me, every one of them is is a different phoneme. Okay, come to see for example, the dark le and light le, dark le and light le. When you say, for example, light, okay, light, what is the L here? It is a phoneme, right? This L here is dark. When you put it here, you say light, light. What is this L? It is what? Light or heavy. Sorry, it is soft. Okay, it is light. It is light. Now I used the name of this L and the example. It should be different. The example should be different. Let me say, for example, life. You see? Now dark L and light L. Okay? Now you bring the dark here, it will be life. When you put the light L, it will be life. You see the difference? Good. Can dark L replace the light L? And can the light L replace the dark L? Yes, it can replace it without any difference in the meaning. What do you call this L? This L is a phoneme. What do you call this L? This L is an allophone. You see? An allophone should be put between two square brackets and the phoneme between two slashes. You see? This is the difference between what? The phoneme and the allophone. Again, there are some features. For example, you can distinguish between the different phonemes by using the plus minus features. What do you say, for example? Let us take, for example, the what? By the way, this plus minus features in phonetics is a theory by one of the phoneticians of the scholars. Actually, I don't remember now. You see, this plus, some say that the plus minus theory is related to Chomsky, other say no, it is related to some other phoneticians. I'm not sure of the name, you see, but plus minus theory is a very well known theory, you see. For example, when you, for example, use the sound T, when you use the sound T or the sound P, there are some features which are, for example, for example, according to place of articulation. How do you describe the different consonants? We said the place of articulation, manner of articulation, and voicing. You see, place of articulation, manner of articulation, and voicing. These are very important, and you need to remember all the time for what? For describing the different sounds, the different consonants. You see? Good. Now, for example, the plus, according to plus minus theory, we say that P sound is what? Minus voice plus bilabial. Okay? Minus or what? Plus stop. You see, it is plus stop. The word, the sound P, is a plus stop according to what? According to the manner of articulation. And it is a plus bilabial according to what? According to the place of articulation. And it is minus voice according to what? According to voicing. You see? According to voicing. So you come to them one by one. According to voicing, the sound P is what? Plus or minus? It is minus. According to place of articulation, the sound P is what? Plus bilabial. According to what? According to manner of articulation, the sound what? P is plus stop. These features are very important for distinguishing the different sounds and phonemes. Okay? And we talked about there are many different allophones, you know, in English. For example, the sound le, which is classified into light le and dark le, okay, or heavy. Okay, heavy, lightly and heavily, darkly and clearly. You see, these are two allophones for the phoneme le. And you remember that we put the allophone between two square brackets. Good. Also we have what aspirated p and non-aspirated p. Okay, also these are aspirated p and non-aspirated. These are also two allophones for the phoneme p. You see, and there are many other many different sounds, for example, to show that there are different allophones for the different phonemes. You see, what is the term phone? Phones and allophones. Phones are phonemes, okay, and allophones are what? Are the two are the different images of these phonemes, of these phones. You see, what is related to aspiration? Okay, you remember what is aspiration? Aspiration, for example, this is to show the different allophones. Aspiration is what? This is a short period of what? Of air puff after different sounds. Aspiration. These are aspirated. Aspiration are what? For example, related to the sounds p, t, k. Okay, p, t, k are aspirated plosives, as you remember, and b, d, g are non-aspirated plosives also. What do we call all of them? We call all of them as what? As phones. But you see, can one replace another? For example, now the sound p. Can the sound p replaces the sound b? For example, you say apple. Okay, can you say apple? No. This sound cannot replace this sound, and vice versa. Okay. Again, the feature of aspiration is related to what? To plosives only, to the stop consonants. Okay. The major distinction between allophones and phonemes, we said that allophones one replaces another, but phonemes cannot replace each other to show the same meaning. What else? This is what? Minimal pairs and sets. Minimal pairs and sets. The minimal pair and sets, it is from the meaning of the title, that you have what? Minimal, or from minimum. For example, the word pat and the word bat. You see, the word pat and the word bat. These are what? Minimals or minimum. Okay. As you know that p here cannot replace b, so every one of them, the p and the b, has what? An identical form. You see, an identical form. They can, for example, we for example use the word fit and fat. You see, and fate. Okay, this what we call what? That these words are what? In what? Minimal pairs and sets. So pair, you know the pairs when a word is a couple of another word, can be coupled. You see, so these are pairs. and minimal, what from the minimum, which is the lesser combination, the lesser